Borderland style is mixing, is creating a borderlands of not only language but also of literature, of genre. So she's mixing everything together, trying to get to a multilingual, translingual dimension, space, right? Destabilize all types of universalizing and assimilationizing type claims, okay? And so this continues here. We can see she's writing poetry here, which is then is mixing between Spanish and English, and opens up, and then she gives like a history lesson at this point. And this is what I talked about earlier, one of the problematizations of history. So here she talks about Mexican and American history. And then here she'll turn to Native American history, and then she'll, turn to the Conquista here, right? So again, like Du Bois, you need to know your history somewhat, and that's sort of the point and the problem, that within our American education system, we are largely learning a standard historical scenario, not alternative or non-standard historical scenarios that are coming from the point of view of African American consciousness with Du Bois, and Latin American consciousness, or Tex-Mex consciousness, or Chicana consciousness with Anzaldúa. Okay, and so I put notes here so you can sort of read through it or scan through it if you want. So she's setting up the argument here. Very good stuff in terms of history, alternative historical ideas. This continues in chapter 2, and here she starts to talk more about her own life. She's also presenting sort of queer theory, or the LGBTQIA sort of aspect of things here, talking about what it means to be a woman within Latinx culture when she's growing up in the 50s and 60s, and things like that. And then she gets to the idea of la chingada at the end there. And then chapter 3 continues with the same thing, gets a lot more into Native American or indigenous history and myth and mythology. So she's really working, these sort of avenues at the beginning here. And then that gets to chapter 4, which I'll talk about in a second.